The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 19, The Fish is Gone. Before this, the second prince would never have cared about a fish. However, he couldn't help but feel cautious towards the fish in front of his eyes. He got screwed over by this fish before. He was practically certain that this seemingly dead fish was most likely playing some kind of trick again. After Imperial Consort Xu was sent to solitary confinement by the Emperor, she once cried herself hoarse in front of him, complaining that this fish was part of Jingwang's schemes. The second prince also suspected the same before. However, if he wanted to save his image inside the Emperor's heart and preserve his candidacy to the position as the crown prince, he could not ignore Jingwang. He couldn't act disrespectful towards Jingwang openly again. Jingwang's status was special. He was like a test left by the Emperor for the future ruler. The second prince must make the Emperor feel that he was a benevolent person, capable of treating all of his brothers well, especially Jingwang, who was born with a more noble status than himself. Therefore, even though Imperial Consort Xu as well as himself had to suffer a little injustice, he was willing to endure. Learning from her previous mistake, Imperial Consort Xu told him that no matter what was going on with the fish, he shouldn't touch it. He had to maintain control of the current status. The second prince thought since he came in with Wang Shi, as long as he pretended that he didn't know anything, Jingwang couldn't blame him for anything. Therefore, he acted as he thought. Yet, he still couldn't stop himself from secretly glancing at this evil fish. After a long time, this fish still didn't make any movement at all. The second prince's eyelids twitched. This fish was most likely really dead this time. It's best if he left as soon as possible. Thus, he turned to Wang Shi and said, "I still have business in my own estate. I must bid farewell ahead of time. If the night luminescent pearl is found, just send someone to bring it over." Wang Shi shook his head with a smile and said, "What is the second prince is saying? Since your honored self asked for this thing, shouldn't your honored self see to the task yourself?" Wang Shi attended Jingwang for many years. He's encountered Mu Tianzhao plenty of times before. This was the first time Mu Tianzhao felt that this old servant was being so troublesome. The more he wanted to leave, the harder he was making it. The inner servant in charge of caring for the fish came over patrolling at this time. They suddenly felt something wasn't right and pointed at the fish in the fish tank, saying in panic, "Wang Gong Gong, how come His Highness's fish hasn't moved for this long?" The second prince. Mu Tianzhao cursed internally. Wang Shi quickly ran over to take several looks. He knew the little carp often had a habit of sleeping. Recently the little carp didn't like moving too much. Wang Shi saw the fish laying properly and didn't think too much at first. With the comment from the inner servant, he also felt that the fish was just too quiet. "Don't tell him, there was something wrong with this fish?" Wang Shi carefully looked at the fish for a while and said with trepidation, "Guard this place well and send for His Highness immediately." With solemn expression, Wang Shi turned his head and said to Mu Tianzhao, "Second prince, our family's Jingwang will be coming over soon. Please wait here." Mu Tianzhao got screwed over once already by this fish and had lingering fears. When Wang Shi didn't allow him to leave, he immediately said somewhat angrily, "What do you mean by this? Jingwang's fish has nothing to do with me. I didn't touch this fish at all." "Ayo, second prince, this old servant didn't even say anything. What are your honored self panicking about?" Wang Shi said with an ambiguous smile. "Your honored self probably don't know. This fish is my family's Jingwang's treasure. Even the emperor knows about this fish. Not only your honored self but everyone that entered this room, all must wait for His Highnesses to make a decision." This was really using one's position to bully others. He even brought out the emperor's name. Mu Tianzhao's gaze turned cold. Even a servant from the Jing estate dared to treat him like this. What kind of attitude would Jing Wang have towards him, then? However, the second prince thought about the crown prince's position. He would let this disabled mute feel proud for a while. Just wait until he obtains the throne and he will definitely ensure that this mute won't be able to cry even if he wanted to. Mu Tianzhao forcibly smoothed out his expression and said, then let's wait until fifth brother comes over to discuss this. Ningui Hall. As soon as the second prince left, Mu Tianming suggested that the dancers continue. The third prince refused to allow his meticulously plotted scheme to be disrupted by the second prince. Jing Wang didn't care. There was no harm in continuing the dance. However, just as the sound of the stringed and woodwind instruments started, a familiar-looking little eunuch ran over. He was running towards Jing Wang. Even from afar it could be seen that he was tense and was extremely anxious. Jing Wang had some impression of this servant. He remembered that he was one of those who often followed Wang Shi, so waved his hand at this servant. The inner servant received the order and immediately stepped forth and started to converse quietly with Jing Wang. This inner servant also didn't know what precisely happened. He was sent over in a hurry by Wang Shi. According to Wang Gonggong's words, there was something wrong with the master fish and that he must ask Jing Wang for instructions. The inner servant couldn't speak clearly about the specifics. Jing Wang recalled that the second prince went over to get the night luminescent pearl and assumed that this was related to the second prince, and that must be why Wang Shi couldn't say it clearly. Did the second prince hurt his fish? Jing Wang's expression instantly turned cold. Waving his sleeves, he dismissed the song and dance. The third prince was still trying to persuade him. Jing Wang directly shoved the third prince out of the way and headed towards the back hall without a pause. Very quickly returning to his quarters, he saw Wang Shi and the relevant servants all present, along with the second prince who was looking very ill at ease. Jing Wang didn't bother to check if the second prince was well. Without waiting for Wang Shi to speak, he went over to look at the crystal fish tank. He saw his fish quietly laying on the white stone bed. Jing Wang examined it for a moment and then reached in a hand to touch the fish's back. Afterwards, his expression changed instantly. He immediately pulled out the little carp. Wang Shi leaned over, glancing at Jing Wang from the corner of his eyes. He actually saw Jing Wang suddenly squeezing the fish's body flat. Your Highness, this isn't the real fish. Wang Shi quickly realized. Jing Wang threw the fake fish at Wang Shi. Wang Shi held it, looking at it all over. From afar, this fake fish looked exactly the same as the real fish. But it felt very soft, without bones. Who knows what it was made out of? The little carp was not inside the fish tank and the fish tank had a fake fish inside. This was a huge problem. Your Highness, who could have done this? Placing a fake fish inside the fish tank, this was clearly someone purposely trying to mislead them. Who could be so audacious? Most importantly, where was the real fish? Mu Tianzhao originally wanted to make it clear that this time, the fish's death had nothing to do with him. But he never thought that the dead fish was actually a fake fish. Mu Tianzhao practically felt thunderclouds over his head. The most unfortunate thing was that, when all was said and done, he was the only stranger in this entire room of people. Jing Wang cast a heavy gaze over him. The second prince felt that he got screwed over again. This time, he was unexpectedly screwed by a fake fish. He wanted to say that he had nothing to do with the real fish and the fake fish at all. But more importantly, would Jing Wang believe him? The second prince was just about to present his case when his view became blurry. The sword that Jing Wang carried by his side was already placed against his neck. Fifth brother, what are you doing? This thing has nothing to do with me. The second prince felt like Jing Wang's sword was about to slice his throat and was absolutely terrified. Who would have thought Jing Wang would actually threaten his life for the sake of a fish? Jing Wang's sharp gaze shot towards Wang Shi. Wang Shi said for him, Second prince, please speak the truth. I'm speaking the truth. I only came over to get the night luminescent pearl. Although I don't like this fish, if I were really the culprit, why would I purposely put a fake fish in there? Wouldn't it be better if I just throw away the fish directly? For the sake of surviving, the second prince didn't care much about anything else. Narrowing his eyes, Jingwang looked at the second prince for a while, deliberating whether his words were true or false. The second prince suffered cold sweat for quite a while. Jingwang finally put down his sword and ordered people to send the second prince out. As the matter stood, what Mu Tianzhao said should have been the truth. This person had no need to do things in such a roundabout way. If something really happened, the first person Jingwang would have gone after was the second prince. There was no reason for Mu Tianzhao would do such a stupid thing. Therefore, this wasn't the work of Mu Tianzhao. But the fake fish was obviously put there to divert attention, to ensure that he wouldn't be able to notice the disappearance of his fish so quickly. Who would make this kind of arrangement and why? Just now, Jingwang was feeling anxious. That's why he threatened Mu Tianzhao to force him to tell the truth. Now he was more composed and started to order people to search for any clue within the room. After the inner servants searched, they said that one of the windows to the south was opened. This window was next to the Jing estate's flower garden, however Jingwang didn't usually open this window. Originally, there were plenty of teacups placed on the ground to make it convenient for the little carp to wander around. Jingwang had a good memory. He remembered the position of every single teacup. After counting, he noticed that one was missing. This gave a very easily assumed impression that someone had placed the fish inside the teacup and then escaped out of the window. Jingwang mouthed to himself for a moment and then ordered people to search the room to see if anything else was missing or moved. After a moment, Wang Shi came to report, "Your Highness, nothing else was touched except for your wardrobe, which has been rummaged through. You're missing one inner robe and underpants." Jingwang. Wang Shi was bewildered. Was there a thief that not only stole His Highness's fish but also stole His Highness's inner robe and underpants? This thief was simply too eccentric. Jingwang had Wang Shi pass down the order to investigate all suspicious people on the way to the flower garden, especially anyone holding a teacup. Even if they have to dig 3 inches into the ground, they have to find the little carp and bring it back. As Jingwang got busy looking for fish everywhere, a young man jumped down from the top of a rockery. An hour ago, Li Yu drank the shape-shifting medicine and lost consciousness. When he woke up, he discovered that he had returned to his human shape. Li Yu was very happy. Looking into the bronze mirror and discovering that he had his own face, he was even happier. However, soon after, he encountered a huge crisis that he never realized before. When he changed back into his human form, he had no clothes at all. Because he had been a fish this entire time, his fish scales were part of the fish, so Li Yu didn't think that clothes would be an issue. Yet after changing into a human, his clothes were gone. Such an important thing, why didn't the shitty system mention this? Li Yu. Right, that's why it's called a shitty system. His top priority was to find clothes to wear as soon as possible. Li Yu shape-shifted in Jingwang's room. When he was still a fish, he lived with Jingwang all day and night. Naturally, he knew where Jingwang's clothes were placed. This place only held Jingwang's clothes. Therefore, Li Yu went to the wardrobe to take a look. Jingwang had all sorts of clothes in his wardrobe. However, Jingwang's figure was taller and bigger than Li Yu. People also often wore long robes with wide sleeves in ancient times. Li Yu put on Jingwang's outer robe and felt very uncomfortable. The inside felt all empty. He even had to walk carefully so he didn't accidentally expose himself or something. Not to mention, most of the subordinates could easily recognize their master's clothes. Li Yu was afraid of being discovered by others and attracting their suspicions. Yet, he couldn't go out wearing nothing. After deliberating for a while, He picked out one of Jing Wang's inner robes and underpants. A form-fitting garment was much smaller than the outer robe. The inner robe also didn't have any embroidery or any remarkable design. It shouldn't give him away. Moreover, the clothes that he took out was practically those that Jing Wang haven't used yet. It was probably newly made or reserved. Borrowing it to wear for a while shouldn't be too much trouble. In any case, even if Jing Wang had wore them before, he still had to endure it with clenched teeth. Innocent pure guys can't run around naked after all. There was nothing that could be done about shoes, though. Jing Wang's feet were also bigger than his. Wearing large shoes was worse than wearing no shoes at all. He could move more conveniently without them. There was also his hair. In his original world, he had short hair. The system was at least somewhat kind in this aspect and gave him hair that was not too short, yet not too long. It just reached his shoulder. In the ancient world, this shouldn't look too out of place. Liu carelessly gathered his hair behind his head and put on the clothes quickly. Then, he filled a teacup full of fresh water, placed some fish food inside and then placed all three things into his portable storage space. He looked at the fish pillow that was currently lying inside the fish tank as his perfect substitute. As long as no one touched it, they wouldn't be able to discover anything. All of the preparations were complete. Liu deliberately opened the window near the flower garden. Of course he wouldn't leave from this window. The flower garden definitely will have plenty of guests in it. He only did it to divert people's attention. Then, he opened an unguarded window that was next to a rockery that looked like a mountain. After climbing through the window, Liu carefully wiped away his footprints and dodged inside the fake mountain. End chapter. The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 20, A Glimpse. Liu felt a bit unsteady on his feet. Perhaps it was because he's been a fish for too long and got used to swimming. When he first started walking, he felt like he was floating like a feather as he staggered around. However, this kind of feeling didn't persist as after not too long, he adjusted. Because there were no suitable shoes, he went barefooted. Good thing the temperature was warm, so he didn't feel too cold. The grounds of the Jing estate were cleaned pretty well. He was also paying special attention to the bottom of his feet. After leaving the fake mountain, he walked for a long time and still didn't encounter any accidents. It's only his outfit that looked really somewhat appalling. But it was also because of this that when several servants bumped into the unfamiliar-looking Liu, they didn't dare to come over to inquire. Today was Jing Wang's planned banquet. There were numerous guests inside the Jing estate who were all aristocrats and nobles. There were imperial guards standing outside of the estate. Only people with invitation letters could enter. Therefore, there shouldn't be any unidentified characters inside the Jing estate. For someone to be dressed like this, they were most likely a young lord from some aristocratic family who was throwing a tantrum. However, letting this young lord walk around like this wasn't suitable either. There were already servants from the Jing estate dashing over to find Wang Gonggong to take care of this while the rest of the people continued to follow Liu from afar. A soft-hearted older female servant saw Liu walking with bare feet and really couldn't bear watching any longer. She walked over and asked in a soft voice, "Which family's young lord are you? Why is your honored self dressed like this?" Liu has heard Wang Shi talk plenty of times before, so he had no problem conversing with people in their ancient way. He answered vaguely, "Auntie, I'm here as a guest, and I accidentally got lost." When he was making plans, he felt that he was well prepared. But in reality, he encountered many mishaps. Not only did he not have clothes, he also didn't have shoes. After finally resolving this issue on the spot, he thought that the kitchen would be easy to find. But actually the Jing estate was really too big. It was already not easy to wander out of the fake mountains, but he didn't really dare to ask for directions as he was feeling anxious. The old woman saw his innocent, pretty and likable face, as well as his exceptionally lively, pitch-black eyes. His eyes were exceptionally spirited that she couldn't help feeling some fondness in her heart. The old woman said, "Since you are lost, how about I lead you to find Wang Gong?" How could Li Yu meet with Wang Shi? Thus, he hastily said, "No need. Wang Gong must definitely be in Ningui Hall right now. If I just casually walk around, I should be able to find my way back. Auntie, do you know where the kitchens are?" With a reddened face, Li Yu rubbed his stomach. The old madam understood and said with a smile, "Is your honored self hungry? If the young lord trust me, then please come with me." This auntie was dressed like a servant of the Jing estate. She even wore an apron around her waist. Li Yu subconsciously trusted people in the Jing estate, so he followed the auntie to the kitchens. Li Yu and the auntie chatted a lot along the way. So actually this auntie was a cook at the Jing estate. Li Yu really felt like he was exceptionally lucky. With a cook from the kitchens guiding him, was there any need to fear not finding a place to eat? This auntie's surname was Su. After bringing Li Yu to the back kitchens, Li Yu saw the food that he yearned day and night for, his gaze even turned fixated. Madame Su brought over a plate with a smile and asked what Li Yu wanted to eat. Li Yu looked at the food with saliva dripping down his chin. Without hesitation, he gave a long list of dish names. Madame Su picked out some according to his likes and filled a total of 2 plates and said, "These dishes have already been served to the masters, so they won't be used again. These are the extra portions. No one had touched them yet. The young lord should eat as much as you like." Then Madame Su grabbed a wooden bowl, filled it with the delicious smelling white rice, and put it on the same tray to give to Li Yu. After Li Yu changed into a human, this was actually the first time someone treated him so amiably. The hot steam from the food brought tears to his eyes. He thanked Madame Su, accepted the bowl and started eating with big bites. Human food was exceptionally flavorful, blossoming on the tip of his tongue. It made him feel like the time he spent as a fish was just a dream. However, he lowered his head and looked at his bare naked feet. This was only a temporary shape-shifting pill. It shouldn't be long before he had to change back into a fish. Seeing Li Yu devour the food ravenously like he was starved for several days, Madame Su tried to persuade him to slow down, terrified that he would choke. Li Yu smiled, but didn't try to explain. "Young lord, how come your honored self is all alone?" Madame Su asked hesitatingly. Seeing the youth before her was about the same age as her youngest son, she couldn't help but feel concerned. Li Yu recalled something that made him sad. Yet he couldn't recklessly mention Jing Wang's name, so he randomly insinuated, "My master, is arranging marriage with a second wife. He has no time to bother with me, so I came out to take a walk." Hearing these words, Auntie Su was stunned. First it was master, then it was wife. So, this youth was actually some nobleman's male concubine? No wonder he ran out almost half naked. He must have been chased out by his future mistress. His stomach must have been empty for a long time. Old Madame Su imagined a scene of the first wife bullying the concubine as Li Yu spoke of his predicament pitifully. However, she did not look down on Li Yu. Instead, she kindly patted his hand and comforted him, "It's all right. The young lord can stay here for a while and eat some more." However, wearing an inner robe the entire time really wasn't good. Madame Su looked at Li Yu's figure and grabbed one of her youngest son's clean clothes, as well as a pair of shoes. The clothes were of verdant green. It was the same color as the water grass that Li Yu liked. Li Yu was just worried about not being able to find suitable clothes to wear and also not having shoes. Upon seeing this, he was exuberated. As he put on the clothes, he thought briefly and decided to still wear the inner garments and underpants that he had swiped from Jing Wang's room on the inside. Madame Su was afraid of making Li Yu felt awkward, so she didn't ask him anything further. Li Yu finally was able to eat a human meal. He ate until his stomach was slightly bulging before reluctantly putting down his chopsticks. After eating, he strolled around with Madame Su in the kitchens to aid his digestion. This was a habit that he developed after being raised by Jing Wang. He still maintained it after changing into a human. The back kitchens of ancient times seemed rather exciting. Li Yu looked at the chopping block and kitchen knives with novelty. However, he was very well behaved and knew that some cooks have their taboos. Therefore, he only used his eyes to look and didn't randomly touch anything. Li Yu discovered a fish basket. Recalling the 1,000 carp soup that the imperial consort was having when he had just transmigrated, he became curious. "Auntie, are you also going to cook 1,000 carp soup?" Auntie Su laughed and said, "That's only served during birthday banquets at the imperial palace. The Jing estate doesn't have that habit of cooking that dish. His Highness did often drink plenty of fish soup before. However, for some reason, he stopped doing so lately." In the latter part of the sentence, Madame Su seemed to be somewhat talking to herself. Li Yu's hearing was sharp, so he was able to catch it. He thought internally, was it perhaps because of him? Jing Wang really pampered this fish after all. Recalling all of the good treatments Jing Wang had given him, Li Yu couldn't resist feeling a bit sorrowful. Madame Su asked him with a smile, "The little lord mentioned fish soup, was it because you wanted to drink fish soup?" Li Yu hastily shook his head. He was a fish, why would he drink fish soup? Stop that immediately. Then, he started speaking in a roundabout fashion to ask Madame Su where the opera stage was set up. According to his plans, after eating, he was going to watch some opera and then start heading back. Because of the clothes issue and then getting lost, he wasted plenty of time. Who knew how much longer the shape-shifting medication was going to last? Madame Su told him that the opera stage was set up in the Yayin courtyard near Ningui Hall. Li Yu planned to start rushing towards Yayin courtyard. Before he left, he saw several bamboo boxes placed on the kitchen counter. Li Yu thought these bamboo boxes looked somewhat familiar. Madame Su generously opened the boxes for him to see and explained, "This is the fish food that His Highness ordered. There's even several kinds. Though, they're really not anything rare." Li Yu's nose felt sour for some reason. He pointed at the box that contained red-colored fish food and asked, "Can I take some?" Auntie Su said, "Of course you can. The kitchen's prepared plenty of these, so there's no need to worry about running out. However, these are all for fish to eat. Little lord, you still want these?" Li Yu nodded his head wildly, "Yes, yes." Madame Su thought that he must be also raising fish, so she grabbed an empty box for him and filled it halfway. Learning from ancient people's habits, Li Yu stuffed the box into his sleeve, gave thanks to Madame Su and headed off towards Yayin courtyard. Passing the Ningui Hall, Li Yu thought guardedly that he definitely had to endure not heading over to take a peek. What did the meeting between the protagonist Gong and Xiao have anything to do with this fish? This fish didn't need to do anything. He firmly refrained from looking towards the direction of Ningui Hall. When he reached Yayin courtyard, he could already hear the sound of music from a distance. The imperial guards outside of Yayin courtyard, however, stopped him and wanted to see his waist token. Li Yu thought that this was bad. How come no one checked this when he was in the kitchens? Why did they need to check this just to listen to an opera? Besides, where would he even get a waist token? Li Yu didn't know that because he put on the clothes and shoes of old Madame Su's son, he looked like a regular servant. According to the Jing estate rules, regular servants couldn't casually enter Yayin courtyard. That was why the imperial guard stopped him. Li Yu didn't dare to argue with the imperial guards. It's not like it was a must for him to listen to the opera. There wasn't much time left for him anyways. Since he was not allowed to enter this place, he should go somewhere he would be allowed to. Li Yu decidedly changed direction. As soon as he turned around, however, he saw a familiar person. Wang Gong coming head on. Wasn't this Wang Shi? Li Yu didn't have a chance to even greet him when Wang Shi waved his hand and ordered all of the imperial guards to come over and surround Li Yu. Grab that person quickly. Wang Shi was still panting, obviously from running around for a long time. He was originally searching with Jing Wang in the flower garden and didn't really pay attention to the news passed over from elsewhere. Then he heard the estate servants said that there was a young lord who was wearing an inner robe and underpants, walking around randomly inside the estate. No matter how he thought about it, Wang Shi felt this person was extremely likely to be the thief that stole Jing Wang's clothes. Following the same line of thought, the clothes and fish both disappeared at the same time. Then shouldn't the person who stole the clothes also be the same one who stole the fish? He immediately reported to Jing Wang and rushed over to take a look. When Li Yu saw Wang Shi was detaining him, he was shocked. However, he immediately recalled that he was a human right now. The arrangement he had set up in Jing Wang's room shouldn't have been discovered so easily, therefore, he definitely couldn't act timidly and make Wang Shi suspect anything. Li Yu asked with a smile, "Wang Gong, what's the matter?" Wang Shi huffed coldly, "You heinous thief. You stole His Highness's fish and still dare to ask what's the matter." Li Yu. Wang Gong had always treated him pleasantly. He wasn't used to being scolded all of a sudden. Wait. Li Yu abruptly realized. Don't tell him that the fish pillow and the window that he purposely opened, were both seen through. There wasn't much time left. If he got captured by Wang Shi and then made the transformations in front of so many imperial guards. Li Yu wanted to calm down, but this wasn't something that could be resolved by calming down. He must first find a place to hide. He couldn't change back to a fish in front of all these people. Struck by a sudden inspiration, Li Yu pulled out something from his sleeve and yelled loudly, "It's over here." He used all of his strength to throw away the thing inside his sleeve. While Wang Shi and the imperial guards were all stunned, he took the opportunity to run off immediately. Originally, Wang Shi wasn't completely certain that the youth before him was the thief. He was just testing him at the beginning. Unexpectedly, this person actually ran. Didn't this prove that he really was the thief? But this person moved too quickly and he didn't see clearly what he has thrown. Grinding his molar teeth, Wang Shi was really terrified that this person threw the master fish out and quickly ordered the imperial guards to search and look at what he has thrown. He himself ordered the rest of the people to start giving chase. Li Yu ran fast like the wind, hastily finding a room to hide into. Jing Wang was still searching all over in the flower garden. After receiving the message that Wang Shi urgently sent, he also rushed over to meet up with Wang Shi. Together, they trapped Li Yu inside a room. The thing that was thrown out beforehand was confirmed to be a bamboo box that stored fish food. This immediately confirmed even more that this person stole the fish. Wang Shi was extremely angry. Just wait until they caught this person, he was really going to torment them. This person not only disrupted the banquet inside the Jing estate, he also stole His Highness's clothes and his cute and lively master fish. He deserved to be hacked into 1,000 pieces. Come out quickly and hand over His Highness's fish or you'll have to bear the consequences. Wang Gong smacked on the door, yelling sternly. Jing Wang's face was as calm as still water as he stood outside the room with his sword in hand. As soon as he saw Jing Wang, his fish instincts took over. He subconsciously wanted to go outside and wag his fish tail. However, he immediately remembered that he was still a human. Jing Wang didn't recognize him. If they met directly, he might be chopped to death with one hit. Wang Shi wanted him to hand over the fish. On one hand, Li Yu felt somewhat touched. On the other hand, he was stuck dumb and terrified. Fish was right here before their eyes. What exactly was he supposed to hand over? He originally planned to leave the room after everyone who was searching for him left. Seeing this situation with Jing Wang and Wang Shi both guarding him like a tiger watching its prey, he probably wouldn't be able to go out for a while. Face full of tears, Li Yu. He only wanted to have a proper meal. How did it become like this? Suddenly, there was a notification from the system. Host, there isn't much time left for maintaining your human form. The shitty system normally pretended to be dead. Yet now it was giving him a countdown. He was going to change back to his fish form soon. Finally obtaining one chance to shapeshift, yet it was already used up after just eating a meal. And this wasn't even the important part. The important part was that he was being trapped in this room by Jingwang. If he turned into a fish inside this room, how was he supposed to explain how a fish appeared while this big live person suddenly disappeared? Liu thought of a plan. Carefully taking note of the countdown, he yelled to the people outside, "There's no way I'm going out. If you're so capable, then come in and catch me. If you catch me, I'll hand over the fish." Liu was making a gamble here in order to gain some time for himself, as well as preparing for the aftermath. Normally, when someone voluntarily yelled at the people guarding outside to charge in, the people outside would definitely feel that it was a trap and in return, wouldn't recklessly enter. He thought Jingwang would definitely hesitate for a moment, yet. As soon as he finished speaking, Jingwang barged in the very next second. Liu was startled and let out an ah in surprise. Mu Tianqi immediately saw a youth in green clothes that he had never seen before. The youth turned his head back to glance at him quickly before hastily running towards the only opened window in this room. Mu Tianqi got tricked before. Because of the wide opened window, he mistakenly thought that the thief escaped through that window and didn't end up catching the person. It was probably a diversion that the thief purposely set up in order to make him search in the wrong direction. This time, after he trapped the person in the room, he placed guards in ambush outside every window to make sure they were all well guarded before ordering Wang Shi to start yelling outside the door. Mu Tianqi gave chase with large strides. The youth already hopped onto the windowsill and turned back to give him a mischievous smile. Mu Tianqi was stunned briefly. He didn't know if it was an illusion, but looking at this youth. This was a delicate and pretty, clean-looking boy with bright eyes like colored glass. The appearance of his smiling face actually seemed inconceivably familiar. With this pause, Mu Tianqi's hand movements were also delayed for a moment. He wanted to grab this suspicious youth but was only fast enough to grab a corner of his sleeves. With a flash, the youth jumped off of the windowsill and headed outside. Mu Tianqi wasn't in a rush. He quietly waited for the Imperial Guard lying in ambush outside the window to catch the youth. Yet after waiting for a while, he didn't notice any activity at all. Mu Tianqi circled outside the room himself to take a look. The Imperial Guard hidden in the shadows there reported that they didn't see anyone at all. With furrowed brows, Mu Tianqi looked and only saw a pile of clothes scattered on the floor outside the window. Meanwhile, his fish was currently in a teacup on the ground, flopping around happily. End chapter. The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 21, Betrayal. After feeling dizzy for a while, Liu very quickly realized that he had turned back into a fish. His plan was supposed to be flawless. He was going to pretend to escape out of the window. Then people would naturally think that he had managed to escape but left the fish behind. However, complications occurred. First, Jingwang actually crashed directly through the door. Alright, he had to admit that he felt touched that Jingwang would care about this fish that much. But this immediately made everything perilous. Not only was his appearance seen by Jingwang, he almost transformed back in front of Jingwang. When he jumped out of the window, he was too anxious and almost fell. Luckily he changed back into a fish the instant he jumped out. He thought he finally managed to muddle through everything. But then, he didn't consider that crashing through the door was not enough for Jingwang. He even ordered people to hide outside in ambush. Even if he luckily escaped out of the window, what was the use? There were a group of people guarding outside and they didn't even see a shadow of him. How could one explain how he disappeared and left only a pile of clothes in the ground? Li Yu felt that sometimes, Jingwang was a bigger pit than the shitty system. At least when the shitty system screwed him over, he could think of something to salvage things. When Jingwang screwed him, he pretty much couldn't even get angry about it. The Imperial Guards who were laying in ambush all unanimously stated that they didn't see any youth at all. Seeing Jingwang was about to inspect the clothes on the floor himself, so Li Yu immediately waved his tail loudly, hoping to divert Jingwang's attention. The clothes he left behind shouldn't have anything. He was only afraid that Jingwang might connect everything together, then his secret would be exposed. But waving his tail to divert attention seemed somewhat like he was selling his fish body, huh? Li Yu, using his attractive fish charms a little was okay. Exposing his secret and being mistaken as a carpio was not. Jingwang heard the sound of fish tail moving and stopped. He bent down to pick up the teacup himself. Li Yu wagged his tail even more energetically. Jingwang was still somewhat angry and gave the fish a glare. Li Yu felt strangely guilty. He curled the tip of his tail around Jingwang's finger carefully to make him happy. He felt like Jingwang would like this. Every time the tip of his tail swept lightly past, Jingwang's expression would relax some. Sure enough, under his deliberate attempts to act cute, Jingwang temporarily stopped showing interest in the clothes scattered on the ground. Instead, with lips pressed together, he started to lightly squeeze the little carp's back. This meant that Jingwang was willing to play with him. Li Yu suppressed his feelings of embarrassment and continued to sell his fish charms. Your Highness, there's a pond near the room. Perhaps the thief caught the watching people off guard and swam away. An Imperial Guard walked over to report. The rest of the Imperial Guards also assumed this because of all the clothes on the ground. It's not like someone could disappear into thin air. The Imperial Guards thought of an explanation until they got headaches, but they could only manage to come up with this one. Li Yu was stunned. So, they could actually forcibly explain it like that? But then again, why would normal people even imagine that a human could turn into a fish, and a fish could turn into human? The most logical explanation was naturally that the suspicious youth escaped somehow. The Imperial Guard's explanation wasn't impossible. Nodding his head, Jingwang wanted to head over to the pond himself to take a look and see if there were any suspicious footprints and stuff. Li Yu immediately jumped into his palm. There's nothing at the pond. Jingwang didn't need to go there. Interrupted several times by Li Yu, Jingwang's brows smoothed out as he lightly tapped the fish on the head. Head pats, what did that mean exactly? Li Yu wanted to ask this a long time ago, but there was no one who could tell him. Seeing Jingwang relax, Li Yu let out a breath of relief. Finally, the crisis was averted. Since everyone believed he escaped by swimming away, things were pretty good. When the guards finished inspecting the discarded clothes, Wang Shi had already rushed over to confirm that they were indeed the missing clothes of Jingwang. The outer clothes were old servant's clothes and a pair of old shoes. Madame Su was quickly brought over. She recognized the old clothes that she had given to the young lord. Madame Su felt wronged. He thought that the youth was harmless. Who would have thought that he would have the audacity to steal His Highness' fish? Madame Su remembered that she had even given the youth some fish food and regretted it so much that her insides felt it was ready to burst. According to Madame Su, the identity of the youth was a male concubine who had been chased out by the main wife. Eunuch Wang. What kind of messed up logic was this? Because he was being bullied and suppressed by the main wife, he came over to steal His Highness's fish? None of this connected at all. Li Yu was listening in Jingwang's hand. He didn't even understand himself. At most he was someone who got lost. Just how the heck did Auntie Su imagine him to be a male concubine? Auntie Su kowtowed non-stop. Li Yu couldn't bear to watch and secretly looked at Jingwang, afraid that Jingwang might punish Auntie Su in his fury. Wang Su tried to guess with Jingwang's expression and said severely, "For concealing a thief, you should be banished from the Jing estate." Li Yu. No way. He wasn't even a thief. Auntie Sue only thought he was pitiful, so she gave him something to eat. Why chase her out? He definitely didn't want to implicate Auntie Sue, who was kind enough to help him. Liu hastily wrapped the tip of his tail around Jingwang's finger, rubbing back and forth pitifully. Jingwang. Jingwang found the fish, and the fish seemed to be all right. In a rather pleasant mood, Jingwang gave Wang Shi a glance. Wang Shi immediately understood. However, since you didn't know anything and the master fish wasn't harm, you won't be banished this time. Go and take your punishment of 30 hits and keep this lesson in mind for the future. Madame Sue shed tears of gratitude. She really was rather reckless before. She couldn't lose her job in the Jing estate. Her skin was rather thick. Being punished with the paddle was better than being banished from the Jing's estate. Liu was still not very satisfied with the corporal punishment. However, seeing Madame Sue's sincere gratitude, he felt like at least he helped a little and his guilt was slightly relieved. If he used his fish charms too much, it might lost its effectiveness in the future. Liu knew when to stop while he was ahead. Jingwang, who was originally enjoying the touches from his fish's tail, suddenly felt nothing anymore. Wang Shi dismissed Madame Sue and said to Jingwang, "Your Highness, Madame Sue has been dealt with. This old servant still feels it is strange. Why would the thief steal the fish?" Jingwang remembered the sleeve corner that he had grabbed and ripped off before and gestured to Wang Shi to bring it over for inspection. He immediately saw that on the cloth, there were wet patches here and there, as well as some silver-colored fish scales. Liu. Oh fuck. How could he leave behind such incriminating evidence? Would Jingwang think he left it when he changed into a fish? Your Highness. Wang Shi said in surprise, why would there be fish scales on the thief's sleeve? Jingwang's eyes darkened. Before, when the imperial consort's handkerchief had fish scales, it was because the imperial consort did something to the fish. If the thief's sleeve also had it, then that meant the thief also did something to the fish. How dare he? Wang Shi said for Jingwang, Your Highness, the master fish must have really suffered. Jingwang stroked Liu's head, as if comforting him. Liu. How could this work? Should he be glad that he messed with the imperial consort in the past? Since Jingwang already found the fish, Wang Shi reminded him that he still had a huge crowd of guests waiting for him at Ningui Hall. Even if plenty of people wanted to leave, they still had to wait until Jingwang came back to say their farewells properly. This was the banquet that the emperor ordered him to host after all. Jingwang only left temporarily because of an issue. Moreover, with Jingwang's temperament, how could they dare leave at will? Jingwang was too lazy to return to the inner quarters again, so he just held the teacup in his hands and brought the fish to Ningui Hall. Liu, who was originally planning to nap after his meal? No way. He didn't want to go see the second master. But this fish couldn't change his master's mind. Jingwang brought him into Ningui Hall and placed him on the main table. The guests in Ningui Hall were stunned. They had heard that Jingwang was raising a pet fish and treated it like a treasure. So, it was this one. Not knowing who started it, all of the guests were in mutual agreement and started to praise the fish that Jingwang raised one after the other. Liu happily wagged his tail, feeling a bit floaty. Aya, there's no way he was that good. It's fine to say he was clever and cute, but to say he was even better looking than a koi, they must be blind. Suddenly, with his pitch-black fish eyes, Liu caught sight of a young man wearing white dance costume. This youth was very good-looking, like he came out of a painting. He stood quietly amongst the clamorous crowd, standing out from the masses. That I don't need to attract anyone, they will naturally be attracted to me kind of protagonist aura. Liu jolted. Was this the rumored protagonist Xiao? The protagonist Xiao's name was Chu Yanyu. Liu held onto the teacup and looked towards Chu Yanyu's direction. Although he didn't really like the second master, Chu Yanyu was really too good looking. The fish also couldn't resist looking. Jingwang. Jingwang furrowed his brows. What was this fish randomly looking at? With his long finger, Jingwang nudged the little carp back into the teacup. Caught by surprise, Liu fell over staggering and then mischievously threw water at Jingwang in retaliation. Unexpectedly, Jingwang dodged it. Jingwang laughed soundlessly. Liu wagged his tail and thought cheerfully. His master was also very good looking. Only looking at his master was fine, too. Not looking at Xuěshān anymore. The second prince, Mu Tianzhao, saw Jingwang brought the fish over. He moved to open his mouth but ultimately didn't say anything. He just knew that this fish wouldn't die so easily. This was probably another of Jingwang's plot. The second prince was secretly resentful. Jingwang actually dared to threaten him over a fish. He would definitely get his revenge for this once he inherited the throne. The third prince, Mu Tianming, saw Jingwang returning and stubbornly requested to present the dance for the third time. Jingwang allowed it. Despite being snubbed twice already, Xuěshān didn't worry. Shaking out his sleeves, he turned and looked behind himself briefly. The sixth prince was standing not far away and met his gaze. The sixth prince nodded his head slightly. Xuěshān bit his lips, then turned around and gave a grand courtesy. This time, Liu laid himself completely on the side of the teacup. As the others were all exclaiming in admiration at Xuěshān's beauty, Liu raised his head and paid attention to the moment Xuěshān and the sixth prince exchanged gazes. Jingwang fell in love with Xuěshān at first sight. Yet, Xuěshān didn't actually like Jingwang. He liked the sixth prince. The sixth prince was unfavored from childhood. His days only got a little better when he got older. He became the third prince's follower. The third prince needed someone who could sing and dance. Therefore, the sixth prince nominated his own friend and childhood sweetheart, Xuěshān. Although the sixth prince also had an ambition hidden deep inside his heart, he only had this one trusted and loyal confidant by his side. For the sake of the sixth prince, Xuěshān was happy and willing to sacrifice himself. On the surface, he was the dancer recommended to Jingwang by the third prince, but in actuality, his true loyalty was with the sixth prince. The fish lotus dance started. This was a song and dance that Xuěshān created. Although it had been interrupted again and again before, the esteemed guests were soon immersed in the exquisite dance. After the group dance, what followed quickly was the main dance between Xuěshān and another extraordinarily beautiful woman. Sleeves and dresses swirling in the air as the lithe dancers moved gracefully, everything looked like a heavenly white lotus about to blossom. Liu didn't have any interest in dance. He wanted to deflate and sink to the bottom of the water. However, the teacup was too shallow so he couldn't sink anywhere. Laying on the teacup, he used the corner of his eyes to look at Jingwang attentively. Jingwang was admiring Xuěshān's dance. Liu softly blew a bubble and turned his head, not wanting to bother with this person anymore. Xuěshān finished dancing. According to the original novel, Jingwang will ask for his name. However, after a long while, Jingwang didn't say anything at all. The second prince felt a rare delight in seeing the third prince's misfortune. Although he didn't get to act like a good brother to Jingwang, the third prince didn't get anything good out of this either. The third prince couldn't sit still and solicited Jingwang's opinion. With one hand propping himself up, Jingwang gave Wang Shi an indifferent glance. Wang Shi immediately said, "It's not bad." And then, "That's it?" The third prince and the sixth prince who failed in their plan to enthrall him with a beauty. Liu. What happened to the love at first sight and the complicated romance that was supposed to follow? Master, are you still sleeping? Wake up quickly, your concubine is about to disappear. End chapter.